co-host, first things first, right after our show, Monday through Friday, joins us live from New York. All right, let's first touch on this. I said Westbrook's not the cause of the Lakers' issues. He's a symptom of it. Right. They're a poorly constructed mess. Your thoughts on what you watched last night?
I mean, that's 100% correct. Now, for them to have any chance at competing at a high level, they are going to need to trade Russ, not only because he doesn't fit with them, but because they need pieces that do fit, most notably shooting. But right now, the Los Angeles Lakers, of the 25 teams in the league this year that are not in full-blown tank mode, have the single worst starting backcourt. Like, you're starting Russ and Patrick Beverley, who I know Patrick Beverley thinks he's a star, but nobody else does. You have no shooting, and you're relying on LeBron to have the greatest year 20 anyone's ever had, which just in last night's game alone he might have already accomplished, but that's not going to be enough. And Anthony Davis, you know, I tweeted after the first quarter, this Anthony Davis could be a problem for the whole league. And then he reverted the rest of the game back to the jump shooting other Anthony Davis, where he's been the worst jump shooter in the basketball over the last 2 seasons prior to this one. So they have massive issues. It's a poorly constructed roster, which is why, of course, they gave Rob Pelinka a contract extension. Like, I don't know what they're doing in L.A., buddy. I don't.
What do you make of the Draymond Green pool situation? I think it's an incident. It's a great coach and culture. They'll win again. It doesn't be. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But you disagree, I would imagine.
Yeah, I don't think he finishes the year on the team. I think that it is that there's a couple things at play here. One is you're going to have, I think, an unprecedented, amount of quality players available early in the season via trade, because there are going to be so many teams that pull the ripcord and just say, you know what, let's tank for Big Vic, let's tank for Scoot, the number 2 pick of the draft. So I think you're going to have a lot of teams just saying, screw this, we're out. You also have already a luxury tax bill with the Warriors that's going to be historic, because they have given Poole his money, they have given Wiggins his money, and then they have Draymond staring into potentially opting in as a deteriorating asset. I don't think it's going to work long-term for the full season. I think that Draymond plus Kuminga, or Draymond plus Moody, or maybe Draymond plus both of them could get a really, really good piece. Wiseman can soak up a lot of those front court minutes, and I don't think this is that Draymond Green ends the season with the Warriors.
So I threw something out yesterday, and I don't think it's crazy. The owner doesn't like Kyler Murray. Called him out, that stupid addendum they put in, they've made it public, and it's not working. And the coach and GM got extensions. Russell's not working in Denver. But Denver wants the old Russ, move around Russ. That's Kyler.
Yeah.
What Arizona would like is a little bit more of, in their eyes, a veteran, mature, coachable. I said, if I was Arizona and Denver, I would be like, if I was Denver today, I'd be like, I'll take a call, because we don't have the receivers or infrastructure. So my point is, I do think you're getting to a point with Denver is, I'm not sure if it's solvable. The coach isn't right. The O-line's a disaster. The left tackle's out for the year. What you think? What
listen, of course Denver takes the call. Your guy, your beloved adopted son, Russell Wilson, has the single worst contract in all of sports. Go across all of sports, it's the single worst one. Now, Kyler's contract ain't no peach, but of course Denver would take that on, because at least there's hope there. And I know, listen, your producers, little birdies whisper in my ear. I know you have a segment coming up that's, I don't know what you're going to call it, but I've got a name for it. Here's why it's not Russell Wilson's fault, except it is. Except, yes, Hackett seems to be in over his head. I get that. But I remember you and so much of the media when you were so high on Denver. Now all of a sudden the roster stinks. Over the summer, oh my God, look at these receivers. Oh, the O-line in Seattle was terrible, but it's better in Denver. Now that they are averaging 15 points per game, They have arguably the best defense in the whole league. The defense has allowed 6 total touchdowns all year. We can't blame Russ. And what is unbelievable to me is, Colin, you are giving Russell Wilson more benefit of the doubt than you would give yourself. If I know some of the viewers might not know this, but years and years ago, Colin used to work somewhere else. And Colin, if when you came over to FS1, it was a total unmitigated disaster for 6 months. You wouldn't go home to Ann and be like, well, I mean, the EP of the show stinks and the set's no good, and what do you want from me? You'd say, I'm the one that needs to figure it out. The guy that makes $250 million is the one that needs to figure it out, but he can't because he doesn't run anymore and he doesn't throw very well. And Seattle got 6 draft picks, 3 players, and upgraded at quarterback with Geno Smith. And you just don't want to admit it. Oh, I've never been more right about something than this one. Everyone's like, who could have seen this coming? Me. This guy, I saw it coming.
Well, it's, let's move off that segment. I think when I watched Kansas City and Buffalo, I have no definitive opinion. I thought in that game, Josh got a little more help from his defense and a little more help from his run game. I think every game they play now is closer. I don't think there's a tactical edge. Von Miller certainly helped in their cause. I think Kansas City will go out and get an OBJ or a Chase Claypool or something. I think it's the best rivalry in sports. I don't think either team is better. I said it's not a who's better, it's who's got the ball last rivalry. And that's where I think they are now. Is that fair?
Well, listen, and I think that's fair. I also think, and now I will surprise, the upstate New York viewers here and give credit. In this game, it was not who has the ball last because Mahomes had the ball last and he made a mistake. He threw that pick. What made me oddly, Colin, more optimistic about the Chiefs' chances against Buffalo than I was before the game is that, so here they've played, obviously, a bunch over the last few years. When they played in the regular season last year, Buffalo scored 38. When they played in the playoffs last year, Buffalo scored 36. On Sunday, Buffalo scored 24. And if you're telling me that the Chiefs defense down 2 corners in a game that Josh Allen doesn't throw a pick and you allow him to go 98 yards with a minute left in the first half, you're going to hold Buffalo under 27. Do I like the Chiefs' chances when they play again, no matter where that game is played? I do. Like, Mahomes is not going to make that level of mistakes, at least I don't think he will, a second time against the same team. You mentioned the Chiefs adding OBJ or Chase Claypool. The Chiefs, it's kind of an underrated story. Highest scoring team in the NFL this year.
Right.
I don't think they're going to add an offensive player. I do think Robert Quinn is available. I don't think they're going to be able to pay for Brian Burns out of Carolina. I would add a pass rusher. A few years ago, they added Terrell Suggs. He helped them win a Super Bowl. Last year, they added Melvin Ingram. He was sensational for them into the regular season, the playoffs. I would try to add someone on the front 7 because as good as Josh was, the best player in that game was Von Miller.
Yeah.
And he was the difference maker. They obviously can't go out and add a Von Miller, but I do think they could add another pass rusher.
All right. Well, let's give the Russell thing a couple more weeks. You're jumping to very quick conclusions. A couple more games, and then maybe I'll come around on that.
I mean, Colin, it's the lowest scoring team in the league. The worst offense in football. And now, every week, he has somebody whispering in some media guy's ear, oh, this is the injury. Oh, that's the injury. Oh, the offensive line's no. Give me a break. Quarterback's got to play better. He's your guy. I'll make you a deal, Colin, and I know I got to go. I will be a little more critical of Russell Westbrook if you'll be a little more critical of Russell Wilson. How about that?
It's not a bad. That's a deadline, a trade deadline move. I like that. Nick Wright, good seeing you, buddy.
See you, my friend.
Joel Klatt's coming on next hour. I always bring out the blame pie, so I'll bring out the blame pie with the Denver Broncos. That's what I'll do. Draymond not making the end of the year interesting to her.